What's up, hackers? My name is Taggart. Yes, we're gonna get started a little bit early. I think Al enjoys kicking in during the roll-on. Good to see everybody. Welcome to Attack on Tuesday. My name is Taggart. Al, thank you so much for the raid. Hope your stream went well, friend. We have a pretty cool stream planned for tonight, and luckily able to just I was worried I was not going to be able to get my Kali box up and running in time to do this one. Al wore a crop top and fox ears. Okay. Yeah, that seems about right. I can guarantee with near perfect certainty that that will never happen on this family friendly channel. He lost challenge on Sunday. All right. Technique, Helen, Sin, Sar. All my friends are here. So good to see everybody. And once again, for those of you who played in Saturday's Backdoors and Breaches game, thank you so much. You all absolutely crushed it. Completely phenomenal game. I've heard nothing but positive feedback about it. DD, a dino suit. Well, so our current goal is not costume related. Our current follower goal is for a missed playthrough, which is pretty on brand. Will there be more live B&Bs now? Well, the people demanded, and I think we have to acquiesce. Yes, there will be more live Backdoors and Breaches. I still want to do the monthly games, you know, in the more private setting, just for safety reasons. But yes, absolutely. All right, let's take care of some of these thank yous for follows. 10 Student, Sanji Gaming, No One, Moromas, Cheese2D, Raptor Puddle, Odin, Ototus. Thank you so much for those follows. Oh, hey, Ted. Thank you for saying so about the thread on network segmentation. It was something I was thinking about a lot, and I realized that it's something like network engineering, unless you're in it, is not something you hear a lot about, and it's something that I had to learn how to do the hard way. So yeah, happy to talk a little bit about it. But tonight we are taking on this Steam Cloud box. Now, yes, I have started this box already, but I have not actually gone and done anything on it. What I want to do is talk a little bit about what the plan is for this, because I do know a little bit about what this box is. This is going to be Kubernetes, and so I just go ahead and if you're not familiar with Kubernetes, I want to hear about it in chat if you're interested in learning more about Kubernetes, because I think we hear about it a lot, but I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about what it is, how it works, and why people would use it. Like, why is it better than doing things a more traditional way with virtual machines that are scaled out? So let's see if we can find a good diagram about Kubernetes, or K8s, as the cool kids call it. Kubernetes. That's right, Al. Docker run one container. Kubernetes run many containers. Although so does Docker Swarm, and I actually think that that's an important distinction. Yeah, so this is like the official diagram from Kubernetes. So let's talk about Kubernetes. And this diagram is not going to help us for our purposes yet. See if we can do better than that. God, that's worse. This is way too detailed. Oh, Chad, thank you so much for the gift sub. Alright, we'll start here. Al, holy crap, thank you so much. Look at all those gift subs. Really appreciate that, friend. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. So, in Kubernetes, you have a cluster. A cluster has a number of servers that act to orchestrate pods. Pods are groups of one or more containers that are part of an application. Applications are called deployments, but let's back all of that way up. That's just some of the language that we use. let's try it with a comparison to Docker. So with Docker, we take an application and we wrap it in a Docker container, and that container is a stable, predictable environment, and that's what runs every time we run it. Now, Docker can run more than one container at a time, and Docker can even network its containers together. In fact, Docker even has the ability to take all of those containers and distribute them across multiple machines. Now, when it's doing that, it's in what's known as swarm mode. And that is really similar to the basics of what Kubernetes is doing, but without all the extra bells and whistles. So Kubernetes allows you to take a YAML file to describe a really complicated application made of multiple containers that are networked together across multiple different hosted servers, possibly in different regions, and handle a couple of different things. One, resiliency, so that there can be, and scalability, so that there can be dynamic scaling based on demand. Two, version control and continuous integration and continuous deployment. And so if a new version of an image that the containers are based on becomes available, Kubernetes can try to deploy the new version of the container, but if it fails, it will also gracefully handle the rollback. And those kinds of things are why Kubernetes is so appealing as an application target for developers and system administrators. So it takes a lot of work to set up, though, and especially until recently, it was very easy to get it wrong from a security perspective. Because there are so many parts that have to work together correctly, until very recently, the defaults for Kubernetes were insecure. And so if there are some older Kubernetes deployments that are still out there, you can take advantage of that as an offensive security professional and see what you can exploit there. So we're gonna play with some of that today. Hey, Husky. Yes, that's right. Your salary is risen by... If you can become a site reliability engineer for Kubernetes, you're making bank. Now, full disclosure, I would say, quite proficient with Docker, and I'm not that proficient with Kubernetes. I've played with it. I've done cluster deployments on my own, but not nearly the same way that, say, our good friend GoPro is. GoPro is absolutely the resident Kubernetes expert in the Twitch InfoSec universe. So if I make any mistakes, he can correct me, or any of you can correct me too. I'm certain we have some other K8s experts in here. Orbital, thank you so much for the subs. Wow, what a night already. So let's get started though. Whoa! And it's Brian in with the subs to VR Linux and HunterBot. Brian, good to see you. Glad you were able to get your audio sorted out, friend. All right, let's get started with our regular enumeration stuff, right? We'll start from the beginning here. Also, I'm running an update at the same time, and it messed with my font. So if the fonts look weird here, I had to switch to a different font because it did not look right earlier. Okay, so we're going to start with some basic enumeration. Let's confirm that I can hit this thing. Looks good. And let's make a folder for Steam Cloud. And shout out if that font is too small. I might make that a little bit bigger. Yeah. I want it to be readable for everybody. So we're going to start with Rust scan. At this point, honestly, just to annoy Al. No, I actually like Rust scan for single targets, not for whole subnets. But Rust scan is cool because what it does is it does a quick TCP hit on every port, and then it'll send it over to Nmap to do the full deep dive per port that it finds. So it's a little bit faster for single targets, but it can flood your NIC on multiples. So this is good. So what we're doing here is we're running Rust scan, and then we're passing, after the double dash, we're passing commands to Nmap. And then we're outputting in plain text to steamcloud.txt. Off you go. Okay, 22, 2379, 2380, 8443. And then this right here, this port pattern is the giveaway for a Kubernetes control plane. You're looking at ports used commonly by the Kubernetes API. So 10249, 10250, 10256. Okay, and that's kind of all we have. We've got 8443, so there may be some zap tonight if we have a web interface to play with. Aston, thank you so much for the follow. All right, 22, 2379, 2380, 8443, 10249, 10250. Okay, so there are a couple of tools that I know I'm going to want and I need to install here. The first one is called KubeScan. No? Is it just KubeScan without the dash? Come on. All right, we'll go another way, because I know it's listed on payloads, all the things. So KubeScan, Kubernetes. Come on. Kube Hunter. Every time. I do that every time I try to look this thing up. I even have it start. But Kube Hunter. This is an amazing little tool for doing just quick auditing of a Kubernetes cluster. I love this thing. So we're gonna pull this down. Is this a release thing? I think it is a release thing. We can just download the source. Yeah. So we'll do one of these. Toss that in downloads. Okay. And where's Kube Hunter? What in the... It's just an executable. MV Kube Hunter to Kube Hunter. Chmod plus X Kube Hunter. And sudo cp Kube Hunter. User local bin. Bitmog. I see I use password manager. Do you have any problems with it? I use it for about everything. No, I don't see any problems with the password manager. Yes, I use a password manager. It's great. Everyone should. The downside risk of a password manager, especially one like LastPass that properly doesn't store your master password, is so low compared to the laziness that and the risk you're going to incur by not using something to help you create strong, unique passwords. That's the trick. Like, you want to use the password manager to enable you to make strong, unique passwords. That's the security component. All right, so now we've got Kube Hunter. And Kube Hunter takes some arguments, but it'll actually walk you through it. So we're going to do a remote scan. And we're just going to do not that, the IP address of the thing we're doing. Okay, so we obviously found some stuff. And if we look at Kube Hunter's help, I think we can do an output, right? Yeah, we can do Kube Hunter and remote, and then give it the host, and then we can do a report, right? Report is type, and then looks good. Okay, so actually this is going to be easy. So Kube Hunter remote, and then we're going to output that to Kube Hunter, kubehunter.txt. Boop. And if we look at kubehunter.txt, we have this nice little report about what's up with our API. Now, we saw that we had 10.250, but we also have this thing called etcd. And etcd it's a database that stores cluster data. It contains metadata. It's sort of, think of it as Kubernetes' own Redis type cache-based databases for really, really fast key value pair data access. And much like the Kubelet API itself, it's going to be, or it used to be, open by default. So we have these two things here that we have already found are open. And then this is kind of cool. Let me move this over here so we have a little bit of an easier time reading it. There we go. now that's readable. So let's see. We have these findings. I think this is cool. When I'm testing a Kubernetes cluster, this is one of the first things that I run, and this report will be part of the package that I'll provide to the end user or the customer. We do call them customers, even though I work internally. Look at this. Exposed pods. And look at this. An attacker could run an arbitrary command inside a container. So with one move, we've found some pretty cool stuff. We are not, John, attacking Kubernetes with NIM. I'm pretty sure we're attacking it with Go. Python. That's shocking to me. Almost every Kubernetes thing is written in Go, but apparently not this. Yeah, I like this one a lot. And so obviously there's lots of cool stuff that we can get at. Now, this is going to give us the report about what's exposed. But then how are we going to like actually attack it? For my money, the best tool that I've found to make this happen, okay, there are a lot of command line interfaces for Kubernetes. There's kubectl, which is the big one. There's Minikube and things like that. Actually, well, there's a lot of Kubernetes command line interface options. But the trick is that mostly they take a lot of configuration to make work correctly, like set up your certificates and set up your namespaces and all that cool stuff. There's one I found that doesn't. That is specific. I don't know if it's for this, but it's really good at Kubernetes testing the way that we would do kind of ad hoc testing. And that is Kubelet CTL from CyberArk. Gates Bills, thank you for the follow. Great name. And to the point, this one is, written in Go. This tool covers all the documented and undocumented APIs. What can it do? Run any Kubelet API call, scan for nodes, scan for containers with RCE, run a command on all the available containers by Kubelet at the same time, get service accounts from all available containers by Kubelet. Nice printing. Really, really cool. So, and there's a one-liner to install it. You have to be root for this to work, but it does work. So let's become root. Hush you. So now I should have Kubelet CTL, and I do. Oh man, John, you know what? There is a sound effect now I do want, which is the developers. scream from Balmer. All right, so available commands: attach, config z, container logs, CRI, exec, scan. So what we'll do is we'll do kubelet ctl scan, and if we look for help on that, it tells us it's scan for RCE. So we'll do scan RCE, and the server is going to be our not that. No. Server is going to be this IP once again. So good. So kubelets sound cute. Yeah, they do. And going back to our diagram, which we still have up, right? So a kubelet is right here, right? The kubelet is think of it as a daemon that runs on a given node server that handles interaction with the Kubernetes API, right? So it's like the agent on the server that interacts with the Kubernetes control plane. Okay, so kubelet is a service that runs on each node, and that's why we're getting that. Nodes are just servers that can run pods, that can run containers, basically. That's what nodes are. And they are all controlled via the control plane. The control plane includes the API, the scheduler. Does each node need just one kubelet? That's correct, Lopta. Just one. And yeah, you have the optional cloud controller manager and the controller manager. So this would be on like your kind of master server. And you don't have to be on your, you don't have to like remote into the master server to administer your Kubernetes cluster, because you can use kubectl from any workstation. You just have to configure it with certificates and things like that to administer the thing. Each node can be a physical host or a VM. Yes. And so what each node will do is it'll take, this is kind of like the architecture of Kubernetes, but it doesn't, let's see, diagram, see if we do better with that. Actually, this isn't so bad as a diagram. So we kind of saw this already, that each worker node has the kubelet, and then it uses the container runtime. Could be Docker, it could be Containerd, it could be OpenShift or whatever, to deploy these things called pods. Now, pods, importantly, are at least one container, but aren't just one container, or they don't have to be. And then they communicate with other worker nodes through the network proxy. Fohammer, thank you for the follow. Does the kubelet serve up the host or just broker connections to it from the scheduler is what you're talking about. So I define a deployment with my YAML file and I send it to my cluster. The controllers and scheduler will handle the deployment of the creation of those pods to the appropriate worker nodes. Now you can indicate which worker nodes you want the pods to run on if you want to, or just let the scheduler handle it for you. And then kubelet receives the commands from the control plane and deploys the pods accordingly. The network proxy handles the networking layer. There's also DNS, there's load balancing that you can add on to all of this as well to make everything work well and make it more complicated. But that's kind of the idea behind Kubernetes, is that all of this is happening in the background, and at the end of the day, what you define is a YAML file that describes what containers you need to run, how many of each kind of container you need to run, and how they're connected together. That's kind of it. I'm simplifying, obviously, but that's the basic idea with Kubernetes, and that's the level above. Because if you think about Docker really in this diagram is the container runtime and some containers here, right? It's like this at most. And then all this other stuff is what Kubernetes handles for you. Does the kubelet tell the scheduler about the worker node? Yes. So it's going to report any sort of health telemetry, things like that, if it's like offline or if there's a network issue, something like that. Yes, all of that is... Yep, exactly right, Labda. You've got it. Or if, importantly, the container runtime has an issue. Okay, so we found these pods, right? API server, Steam Cloud. We found two namespaces, cube system and default. Al, that sound effect is the linking sound from the 1990, I want to say 4 hit CD-ROM game Myst. Yes. And that's what our follower goal is all about as well. I have learned in my, decrepit mid-30s that I am rubbish now at first-person shooters. So puzzle games are pretty much the only game in town. But, oh, no. Well, you're welcome to join. But I am calling dibs on the Myst franchise. I have the books. I kickstarted Abduction. I almost went in for the Myst linking book. The Raspberry Pi based one that had the real video screen in it. Let's try to break some of this. Okay, so what can we do with this? How do you call dibs on a whole franchise? I don't know. I just did. You can go play Maniac Mansion or Day of the Tentacle. So we also have like config-z container logs, run commands inside a container through the container runtime interface, and then exec run commands inside a container. Lopta asks, is the connection between the kubelets and scheduler secure? It's supposed to be. In modern versions of Kubernetes, it is negotiated through TLS certificates, which you have to deploy to your worker nodes in order to make that happen. Oh, I know Monkey Island's returning this year. I'm very excited about this. I'm a huge LucasArts fan. I had them all. Sam and Max hit the road. God, what else? All of the TIE Fighter stuff. Yeah, basically, if LucasArts made it, I had it. Including the really hard-to-play Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. And the previous Indiana Jones adventure games. Those were fun. I miss adventure games. All right, so let's try. Instead of scan, we're gonna do exec. And so the server is going to be this. The pod is going to be here. The container is going to be here. And the namespace is going to be cube system. Oh, I can't. So notice it says RCE run. I need to use one that I can run stuff on. So let's get rid of all of that. The pod that I'm going to run on is here. The namespace is cube system. And the container is cube proxy. And then I'm just going to run ID. And let's see what we get. Oh, it feels so good. So we already have this thing where we have root, right? So the question is, what can we really do with this? Because it looks like we can already execute commands inside of this. I wish they would remake the Terry Pratchett games. Okay, here's one then. It's not Terry Pratchett, it's Douglas Adams, but who remembers Starship Titanic? The game. That was... I leave it to our UK contingent to remember Starship Titanic. We don't have root, really. Like, if we do an ls.al here, you're going to find we don't have, like, root.txt. I got to put that in quotes. Yeah. I'm just rooting the container. And there's lots of stuff that I can't really do. Oh, man. We should have, like, a special thing when a Midnight song comes on. Review the permissions of the Kubernetes kube proxy. Hey, Gates Bills, say it one more time. I don't actually know what you're looking for me to do with that. How about instead of giving me just random commands to run, you explain what that means for everybody's benefit, including my own? No. So the trick here is, what else can we do? So let's see if we have like shell commands here, right? And we really don't. What does reboot-w do? You know, I learned that the best way possible, Al. So some things that you notice that we don't have. We don't have bash. We don't have... There's just dash in here, right? So a lot of the stuff that we would usually think about, like, you know, your usual reverse shell stuff, not available at the moment here. Let me go back up, because let's see. I want to... What else do we have? Because there was the kube proxy, and I thought, yeah, the Nginx is a little bit more interesting to me, because that may have a lot more stuff in it. So the pod is going to be Nginx, and then the namespace is going to be default. And then the container is going to be Nginx. And let's just do a who am I first, or an ID, just to see what we get. Okay, we're root still. So let's see what we got. All right, there's a docker env. God, so Lopta, so many good questions. Are you in a worker node? Right now, I'm not in anything. I'm running commands through the Kubernetes, the kubelet API, on not worker nodes, but containers in pods. There's probably, because of this, the way that Hack the Box works, like this is just one machine, so it's one node, okay? But we're executing commands inside of a container, inside of a pod on the node, is the deal. So it's not really like I didn't root anything, okay? Because these containers without other configuration are going to run as root anyway. So I'm just kind of inside a container, but that doesn't really help me out just yet. Now, if memory serves, are pods separated from one another? They can be, or they can be networked. It depends on how you want them to be connected. Pods are really, honestly, just a conceptual distinction more than anything to talk about groups of containers inside of like a replica set. Yeah, they're not. It's not like a hard and fast division of a network segmentation or something like that. I want to look up the Nginx Docker container here because attacking Kubernetes through kubelet. Yep. Thank you for that. And yeah, payloads all the things has a good bit on it as well. But the first thing I want to do is I want to see where it's mounting user share Nginx. So what I just looked up is where by default the Docker image for Nginx puts its web content, right? So it's in user share Nginx HTML. So I want to see what that's all about. I also want to see what's on port 8443. I should just do that right now, which means it's zap time. Okay, I'll tell you what. I will commit to this. Probably not this Saturday because I'm going to have to do some setup for it. But in the not too distant future, I will commit to spinning up a Kubernetes cluster in our lab, and we'll walk through it all together. So we'll learn how to build a Kubernetes cluster, how to do it securely or not, and see what goes into it because it is a lot. It's just a lot to do it from scratch. Yeah, Night Ride is killing it tonight, Johnny. Absolutely. Yeah, let's Vim Steam Cloud. Let's see what was open. Because I think there was I thought it was 8443. So 22 etcd on 2379. etcd secure on 2380. Yep. And then 8443. Somebody linked the Kelsey Hightower Kubernetes the hard way. I was wondering if somebody was going to do that. Yes, that is exactly what we would use to go through it. Oh, Kelsey Hightower. So good at Kubernetes. So suckered by cryptocurrency. It's so sad. Yeah, so we're going to check out this 8443. Yeah. Kelsey Hightower is one of those, like, I'm sure you know the type, Al. It's like, I'm just asking questions about cryptocurrency. Maybe it's not bad. It's like, shut up, man. While you're asking questions, we're adding another, 0.2 degrees Celsius to the average temperature. I think that people want to believe in it. And I understand wanting to believe in the power of technology to fix things. This ain't it, though. Oh, man, I read an insanely good article on, like, the moral failings of cryptocurrency, and it was written by, you won't believe who. Yeah, there it is. Celebrity crypto shilling is a moral disaster. And this is a bit of an older article, but it got reposted by Ben McKenzie. Ben McKenzie, also known as Ryan from the OC, or Commissioner Gordon from Gotham. It turns out he's a really good writer. Yeah, so who is Sin? Here's my prediction about crypto and NFTs in particular. NFTs are going to become the new and cryptos are going to become the next subprime mortgage, meaning that they are going to get packaged in. I'm sure this is already happening. They're going to get packaged in with other kinds of financial products. They're going to be bundled together and sold. And the risk associated with them is going to be hidden inside. Exactly, Husky. They're going to be hidden inside of these other products. And when these NFTs and coins go belly up, a lot of people are going to get caught underwater again. Yes, like derivatives, precisely. Now, I'm not a financial expert by any stretch of the imagination, but you can obviously see that the greater fools of the world are going in for it, and there's nothing that investment banks like better than greater fools. Okay, so Zap is finally open, and I didn't even have to have somebody donate 69,000 cybers to make it happen. But let's open up our pen test profile. And we're going to go to 8443, right? Ah, cool. So it's just the API. User system anonymous cannot get path. Okay. All right, so we'll leave that alone for now. Are you kidding me? There's a user.txt in the Nginx. Was it really that easy? Hilarious. We will submit that flag. So this is an interesting one in terms of rating, because it's one of those things where if you know the specific methodology, it's a cinch, right? But finding it ain't so hard, or ain't so easy. So I don't know, maybe a 3, maybe a 4, maybe. Because like for me it was okay because I've done this part before, but for other folks who are new to it, I don't know. Nah, I'll give it a 3. At least for the user flag. Okay, so next up, I do want to see. I already forgot where this thing is mounted. We're going to go to user share Nginx HTML. User share Nginx. Yeah. Night Ride is going hard tonight. Okay, so there is an index.html and a 50x. That might be default, though. Yeah, that's just default. Unhelpful. So we need to do a little bit more work in terms of our enum and what else we can do with it. And I'm pretty sure that we don't have anything cool in here either. So if we lsal bin, I'm pretty sure they've... Oh, snap! We do have bash. Well, I'll be. All right, let's see if we can get a reverse shell in this container. What is my IP address? 10.10.14.5. I'll take it. And over here, we're going to get our bash reverse shell. Thank you. Is that a browser plugin that generates reverse shell? Yeah, you know, we haven't talked about this in a minute, but this is, you know, right at the front of my utility belt. This is Hack Tools by LastCC, and it is a phenomenal bit of kit. Here it is on GitHub, but it is, I believe, still also available on the Chrome and Firefox extension stores. But it is just a fantastic tool. Just because it has all this stuff ready to hand, right? So it's got reverse shell for bash, Z shell. Got netcat in there. I'm pretty sure netcat's not in the Nginx. Yeah, user bin. I didn't see netcat, did you? No. No, you didn't miss the entire thing. Salient chain. What kind of a thing are you? Debian. We can run, you know what? We can run apt install. Netcat, right? Incredible. So we can actually wait. Right, of course, because it's Hack the Box. I'm an idiot. In the real world, if this thing had internet access, we'd be able to do this. We'd be actually able to install whatever we wanted into the container. But because it is not in there. Now, which curl? No curl. Which wget? Dang it. That would have been easy mode. Python is an interesting one. Although, it'd be weird. If I can just get... I mean, we have bash, so if I can get this command to not freak out at me... Am I overthinking this? Yep. Ah, great. Okay. We might have to pull that from elsewhere with the kubelet ctl inspect. We do have root on this thing, right? Yeah, nothing back. Env. Okay, so let's just look for env. Yeah, there we go. That's the data that I wanted. So we have Kubernetes 10.96.0.1. Can we do ping c4 10.96.0.1? Ugh. No ping. What are the options to get new apps on this node? FTP? No, we don't need FTP, John. We have access to the API. We should be able to create new things, which is kind of an interesting thought. And yeah, that might be the way to go. Okay, just make sure the pod is still up. Okay. Let's take a look at the payloads, all the things, walk through, see what else we might want to think about. Oh, that's right, secrets. Secrets. And config maps. Yeah. That might be interesting. So secrets, I think are they like, can we just list secrets? There's no way that's gonna work. Yeah, no. We don't have just, like, secrets. But if we can get bash, right? ls var run. Yeah! Look at that. So, secrets are managed by the control plane, okay? But they are mounted as files inside of running containers that need them. And so we're looking at var run secrets because we're inside the container. There we go. So it looks like we have another directory. And then a namespace and a token and a root CA, which are links. I don't know that we need that, but let's get it. Oh, weird. Fish is going to be weird. Until I fix that problem. Ugh, okay. Vim, you're taking quite a long time to load. I don't know yet what we need to do with that, but we have it. And we can, let's see, we've got tokens. Gonna just grab this. And what do we have here? Yeah, that's weird. I don't think we need anything in there. So we've got a certificate, we've got a token. So what are we thinking? Yeah, can we create new pods? What the hell is your problem, fish? Invalid index value in function prompt PW call line 31 file. Command substitution. My shell is giving me grief for some reason. Okay, it's fine now. That's weird. Okay, so we have... What else can we do with kubelet CTL? We might have to straight up go to kubectl at this point, but just in case. Yeah. Yeah, I think at this point we're at kubectl if we want to get running pods. But the trick is, like, what are we after here? Are we after compromising the API? What are we trying to get? Is the question. I'm pretty sure what that means with the certificate and the token is that we can use kubectl to authenticate to it, but we need to get kubectl for real. Kubelet CTL and kubectl are two different things. Kubectl is the real deal install. Or is the real deal CLI. Does Kubernetes scale computation like a supercomputer, or just provide HA failover and load balancing? The answer is probably somewhere in between, like a supercomputer. I actually don't know much about how supercomputers work. No, Lopta, that's not... Okay, let's go back to our diagram. We've got some Kubernetes questions. Okay, so in terms of job scaling and deployment, there we go. So these are handled by replication of pods. So that's your scaling. And then in terms of load balancing, there is a load balancer that can run in front of your different nodes and route traffic accordingly and handle like database clusters, things like that. So it's again, I don't know how a supercomputer works really, but this is how Kubernetes handles it. So it does scale up and down for demand. It can do that. It can handle auto scaling. Now, in terms of how jobs get to worker nodes, the answer is through the API, which communicates with kubelet on each of the nodes, and this is all done over TCP, but it's encrypted, right? It's TLS encrypted stuff. Thank you. Ah, good. GoPro's here. I gave you fair warning, GoPro. I shouted out this box several days ago. And here we are. It's a retired machine. Oh, that's why, because it's a retired machine. Yeah. Oh my god, chat is blowing up. Speaking of API, do you believe the majority of footholds these days are via applications, APIs, and real-world pen tests? Do I think that these days are the majority of footholds? I don't know about the majority, and I think Salient Chain, we should probably distinguish between like APTs and nation-state stuff versus what the skids are doing. There's plenty of PHP out there. There's plenty of SQL injection and, you know, stored cross-site scripting. There's plenty of that old school stuff still around. You don't have to take that out of the mix just yet. But in terms of what, you know, what you're going after in terms of modern applications, yeah, it's going to be in the API a lot more, because the front end is, if you're using a framework like Angular or React or something like that, I'm glad I passed your test then, Salient Chain. Yeah, it's going to be more the back end where you're going to find interesting vulnerabilities. But that's harder to test. Hey, Tasty, I got some follows to say thank you for. RCA Legend, Fohammer, Ozes Nords, Tasty Shrimp, ZM00, and Kruggy. Thank you for those follows. Okay, so we have to install actual kubectl. Yeah, we'll do this. And there's kubectl, so we'll do a chmod plus x, kubectl, and sudo cp kubectl to user local bin. So glad I enabled insults for the sudo password. The container, so containers, Lopta, are isolations of all of the dependencies that the application will need to run. So it will contain code as well as data. What it shouldn't hold is persistent data. That should be stored outside the container because they're meant to be ephemeral. Containers can be spun up and brought down quickly and easily, so that new versions of an application can be brought up, and new replicas of an application can be brought up to handle your scaling and your continuous deployment. GoPro, offhand, do you have a good example of a deployment spec that we can take a look at as an example? Actually, I meant the YAML file, like a deployment file. Oh, right, it will. Thank you. You're right. Thank you. Let's do that. So kubectl create dry run client deployment blah image nginx. What? Doesn't know dry run client. Dry run equals client. Thank you. Okay. Oh, YAML. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. So this is what a deployment YAML file looks like, where we have, this is the spec. This is how many replicas. We can change this up. We can have match labels for the app. So this can determine, you know, kind of where it runs. And then down here, we have a container. These are the containers, right? The image is going to be Nginx. Its name here, any resources that it needs. So this is how you define applications, basically. Thanks, GoPro. So the containers have to send output from their work somewhere back to the scheduler, or can it go elsewhere? So, Lopta, I think you may be overthinking this just a little bit. Don't think about them as functions. They are running applications. So they can have ports forwarded into them so that they can host web servers, and that's where things go. They can process data. They don't have to. They can, in fact, themselves be DNS servers, right? So they can receive input and route and provide responses. Largely, though, their output is going to be over network communication, if you want to think about it that way. Because the whole point is to bring up applications that communicate on a network. Okay, so we actually have the kubectl command now, as we just demonstrated. And we can, so I think, let me do kubectl help to remember how to do this. Help. Yeah, there we go. So you can do, right, we're going to do get pods, but it's like get pods help. Right. kubectl options. Okay, so token, and am I crazy or is there a server? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's a server, there's a token. Is there a cert? Client certificate. Or no, not clients, certificate authority is what I want, because we have the CA. So we can do kubectl get pods token token and CA certificate or certificate authority, right? Certificate authority. CA.cert and then server. And let's go get the server. Object storage might be a good place to gather output data from containers. It depends. Logging for this stuff is handled often in another place. I think what Prometheus is a really well-liked one, a really good logging solution. Yes, technically I have the cert. I can authenticate now. Did I specify the right host port? 10.250? Oh, wait, hold on a second. 8443, right? What am I doing wrong? Oh, do I have to give the server the full FQDN or the full URL? Would that be HTTPS? You must be logged in. Yeah, if you get your kube config set up, you don't need to specify any of that. I know. But it's curious. What is it? Huh. Is it not taking my token? Because the problem is that it's failing authentication, right? That's different. Nope, no, it's... I'm in the wrong folder. Cert looks good. How's the token look? Token also looks good. Token equals token seems like a cause. Why would it cause a 403? Do I have to cat it out? That's what I thought would make sense. Yeah. Let's look it up. Not really what I was looking for. Accessing clusters. That's kind of what I wanted. Token equals cat token. Yeah. So in fish it would be... Oh, no, that worked. Hey, look at that. Cool. Okay, so we can authenticate to this thing, which means... What else do we want to do? And create a malicious Gitwell system controller, bootstrap signer, and Q system. What I really want to do, because if we're trying for an escape, you know what I mean? kubectl can I? Let's do it. Is that like an additional CLI thing? kubectl provides the can I command. Interesting. Kubectl auth can I? Thank you. Right. You must have 2 or 3 arguments: verb, resource, and optional resource name. So kubectl. Can I list? Okay. Thanks, Sin. Okay, so let's see. I can create pods. Cool. And that's kind of it, but that's going to be enough, right? Now, here's kind of what I'm thinking. If we're trying to escape, right? If we're trying to escape a Kubernetes cluster, or trying to escape the container and get onto the VM or the machine that's hosting the node. I want to do, that's exactly where I was going, GoPro. That's exactly right. Where I want to do a mount. I forget how to do it in Kubernetes. I've done it before, but it's like, there's a specific volumes. Here we go. Host path. That's it. A host path mount volume, right? Is what we want. Boom. That's how you know we're on the right path. All right. Host path volumes prevent many security risks. Don't use these. Yeah, exactly like this. Host path data, right? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna mount a beefier machine, or a beefier image. So we're gonna take the image is gonna be Ubuntu. The host may not. Oh, you're right. The host may not have the ability to pull external images. Thank you. You're right. Good call. We know that it has Nginx. That was kind of the given. So we'll just live with that. That's fine because it has Bash. We don't have to go crazy. That's a good call, GoPro. You know what's insane? We've gone this whole time and we haven't shouted out GoPro. That's not okay. But now we've done it. GoPro, my streamer partner in crime, good friend, and hacker extraordinaire. Okay, so let's vim that pod.yaml, and what we're going to do is... perfect. So we're going to add some stuff to our spec here, right? We're going to add volumes like this. Image, because containers, image name. And then down here, we're going to do volumes. Too close to Grand Wizard. How about GoPro? How about you're the dean of DevOps? That's right. That's that English major at work. Volume mounts. Not volumes, volume mounts. So we name the volume, right? Good old YAML. Yeah, mount path. Mount path. I always do like mount root. and name is going to be root mount. And then outside of the spec here for the containers, we define a volumes, right? Yes. Volumes. Goes right. Name, root mount, and then host path, or no, just volumes, name. No, that's right. And then comes host path, path, and we'll mount the root system. Well, okay, so Goomba, this is me having kind of done this on the development side. Hey, Lopta, no, your questions are killer. Don't stop asking questions. You're doing a great job, and the whole purpose of this stream is not like, ah, look how cool we are. The whole point is to teach and learn, and your questions are making that happen. So don't apologize for your questions. I'm happy to see them, and I'm happy to answer them as best I can, and I'm happy to see other folks in here answering them as well. You are doing exactly what this stream is designed to do. Type directory. Capital D? Yes. Oh, it's optional though. Well then, we'll just ignore it. So, kubectl reference. Thank you. Okay, with apps, cluster management, I want create. I mean, it's really a pod, right? Thanks, Gatesbills. We appreciate it. To start a Hazelcast pod, yeah, run. All right, so here's the trick. Create pod YAML. A lot of this is just like knowing how to search for stuff. Create sec pods. kubectl explain. Not describe? What is what's kubectl explain? Explain deployment dot spec. kubectl make me a sandwich. I like it. I like that my upgrade of the Kali box has been going this entire stream, and it won't be done. Very good job. Good job, Kali. Deployment spec. Explain further. Deployment spec replicas. Oh, right. No, I understand that. Sorry, I don't... Right. Okay, that makes sense. Right. So, GoPro, what I'm actually asking for is... How do I get this YAML file up to the cluster? Yeah, it's kubectl apply, right? Yeah, there we go. That's it. Yeah, that's what I want. Thank you. Apply f pod.yaml. Ooh. Oh, deployment apps blah is forbidden. Cannot get resource deployments in the namespace default. Ooh, interesting. Namespace default. No, I think I need to change something up here. Oh, Hydra Dreadnought, I saw your question. I'm using Terminator, and this is Tmux with some customizations. No, blah is forbidden. I think the problem is in the YAML file. Let's try that. Deployments is service account cannot get resource deployments at API group apps in the namespace default. Oh. So we need to paste the error in Google. Thank you, Hydra Dreadnought. Had not thought of that. Sorry, that was snarky. I apologize. Do we have to define the namespace here? What service account is running the Nginx container? It's the default service account. I was thinking, do we need the namespace? I'm not getting an error this time. Okay, yes I am. Deployments.apps blah is forbidden. User system service account default cannot get resource deployments in API groups apps. Oh, is it because, hold on, because we could create pods, but could we not create? All right, let's hold on a second. Let's try get pod. Let's see what's already there, right? Because is this right? Get pod nginx, because we had a nginx pod. How do I get more detail about that? Output. Oh, can I get output YAML? Like we did before? Sorry about this. I'm definitely still learning here. But, oh, okay. So, look. This might help us out a little bit. Hey, see, servant. No, I'm not getting the token. The $sign isn't missing. This is fish. And I don't need to use the $sign in fish. Oh, thanks. GoPro had it covered. Yeah, remove the app, you think? So this is how it's defined here. Oh, so funny. The flag was mounted from the host too, so we know that we can do it. And there's the secrets. Service account is default. So you're saying get rid of the app? Don't we need labels, though? No. I can only create pods. A simple pod YAML spec instead. Okay. So... Oh, wait. Right. Right. Kind has to be, pod, right? And... Or no, it's labels, right? Because we took these out. Pod is totally their API spec. It's mostly what you have, but from like 16 or so. Let's see. Oh, interesting. No matches for kind pod in version apps/v1. I know that I can run the command you've got GoPro. I want to see if I can do Kubernetes pod YAML. Just want to see if there's a create static pods. Oh. Apps v1 instead of v1. And let's see what else. Kind, metadata, spec. Because replicas we still would need, right? But we don't need selector. We don't need strategy. And oh, it's just a single spec. So let's actually just blow all this away. And whoa. Let's bring that back up one more level. There we go. And knock off the status. Yeah. I think this looks good. That's it. Okay. Kubelet, CTL. I'm just going to go back to this to see what I got here. What the hell? Why can't I run anything in this? We've got kubectl. We can do exec. Oh, right, because we're auth now, right. So exec, it, pod, blah, bash. Probably bin bash, because I don't know if it's pathed, right? I cannot exec. Oh, interesting. But did I first dash dash then bash? Oh, I see. I don't think that's the issue. Pods blah is forbidden. Cannot create resource pods exec. Is it because there's something about the... What is this? Auto mount service account token. All right.
Just a moment ago.
Let's do this again. Yes, we're sure that bash is installed, Lapta, because we saw it in the other Nginx container. And Goomba, we know that the Surface account can exec. We did it in the other containers. The issue is that this pod can't. And I believe that's because we need to use auto mount Surface account token. Well, let's find out. I mean, we're not going to hurt anything, right? We can just run apply again. That's different. Oh, we can't patch it. Time to make a new pod then. Nope, something else is going on here. I think it was just this without the pod. Can I exec with kubelet CTL? So Goomba, I'm not going to be able to do any more with kubelet CTL than I can with kube CTL, because with kubelet I wasn't. First of all, this is what kubelet CTL says. I can't with RCE. I can do it in the pods that we already had running, but I don't have it in our new ones, blah or blah 2, right? I've got the minus there, and hold on a second. Let's just confirm. I trust you guys, but I want to just confirm what we've got going on here. Exec pod. Container name. If omitted, the kubectl first container in the pod will be seen. Oh, because it's not a pod, right? It's a or no, it is a pod. It is a pod. Container we don't need. Flags. -- command. Okay, let's confirm that the other ones are working. So let's try it in Nginx. just to see if we got that working, right? That's interesting. So pods nginx is forbidden. Cannot create resource pods exec in the API group in the namespace default. Cannot create resource pods exec in API group. kubectl. Okay. kubectl. We're almost there. Cannot create resource pods exec. Let's go. Let's find out what this is about. This is old data. This might not be useful. That sucks. Unhelpful. I had to get to my pods exec section as well as the client library. No. Okay. Let's get the pod nginx again. And we're going to output that to nginx.yaml. And then we're going to get the blah2. Okay. We're going to vim nginx.yaml. We're going to see what this is about. And you'll love this. We're going to do, I haven't done one of these in a minute. We're going to do a control W split. So then down here, we're going to E blah2. So on the bottom, we're looking at our pod. And on the top, we're looking at the one that was created for us. Did I have code execution in the other container? Yes, I did. Image nginx 1.14.2. This one says nginx. Do you think that the problem was that we didn't specify a tag? Shouldn't have mattered. Yeah, I see the image. It says service account default, service account name default. Do we have to give it that? Because do we have that down here? Yes, we do. Okay, never mind. Okay, literally the only difference that I see here is the container image tag. So up here, we're using 1.14.2. So we're going to do that. 1.14.2. Okay. Now, oh. This is going to be... So it's so funny because I can create pods, but I can't get rid of them. Is there any reason... Like, there's no reason why this would work that I can think of. But... And yet, it absolutely did. Would you look at that? Can I do Docker images? I think I have to do like bin Docker images. No. But anyway, there's the root.txt. Container D images. Hold on a second. We'll do find here. Find here. Oh, you know what? Here, this is a cool trick. We can do this actually, because we're in the root of the file system. We'll do a chroot to here. Yeah. Okay, so this works. But hang on. Let me root the box here. A bit hard? I'll call that a bit hard. Oh, are you kidding me? It's all good. Okay, I think I do know why the tag mattered. And I'm walking this rationale back from the fact that it didn't work. Yeah, because I think that they didn't have a latest. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Docker image ls. That's it. That's right. So there was no latest, so we had to use the 1.14.2. That's why. Now, what did it get? What got created then? Because it said the pod was... Oh, because the pod was created, but the pod contained no containers. Must have been the issue. That's so stupid. Okay, well... Good news, everybody. We just rooted a Kubernetes box. And so let's think about what you can do to prevent this from happening. Don't allow your API to be wide open. Hey, GoPro, thank you for the gift sub. Really appreciate that. Yeah, don't let your API be wide open. And yes, absolutely do not allow host path mounts. As a matter of fact, I know that OpenShift, which is the Red Hat kind of product for Kubernetes, does not allow host paths like at all by default. Yep, don't allow privileged containers. Make sure that you're using like smart permissions. Don't have root containers. Yeah, don't allow host network containers. All sorts of that stuff. Let's see what else I have. Because now that I'm root on the box, yeah, look at that. I've got... In real life, it would have pulled the Nginx latest. It depends on how the repository is set up. It depends on what container repository it's connected to. It could be connected to a local repository that doesn't do that. Is it necessary to have a shell on the container? Depends on what you want to do with it. I like having one, but it depends on what your adversary looks like. Also, because there are going to be some things... Like, there are defenses, by the way, for runtime containers. There's one, I know, Prisma Cloud... Yeah, this exists. So they're expensive, but there are tools that you can get to do runtime monitoring for activity inside of containers. Falco's another one, yeah, for sure. And these will monitor for activity, right? And so you can run up against the equivalent of EDR for containers. So just be aware of that. So depending on what you're doing, you may not want to get like a full out shell and do the normal stuff that you want to do, because stuff like this may alert on it. I think one of the best defenses is statically compiled Go, Rust, whatever binaries and from scratch or rootless containers. Absolutely. Yeah, and also, by the way, limit your capabilities on the container. Yeah, so limit your capabilities. It shouldn't have, a set cap raw. It should be able to do ping stuff, anything like that. Get that out of there. Only use what your container needs to do its job, and everything else should be restricted. You really want to limit what pieces of the kernel the container runtime can get at from a container, because two things. One, just limiting permissions in general, and also it's those extra permissions that usually are the first move in a container escape. Right? So if there is a container escape of one sort or another, so if you can lock those down, you're already more protected against those. Man, this was a fast night. I did not expect to go this fast. But that's okay. We can have a fast night. Got caught on a runtime rule by running. Imagine an attacker getting folding. The container, this curl, bash, netcat, telnet. It's an attacker stream. Oh yeah, let's just use Ubuntu latest. No problems. Just give him everything. All right. Well, you know what? I think we can call it a bit of an early night. I'm fine with that. Let's see. Huh. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of other folks streaming right now. So, friends, I think for now we're going to say goodnight. I'm going to be back tomorrow doing some programming, and as always, some AMA and just chilling on Wednesdays. Oh, Black Sheep Spicy? Okay. We will go to Black Sheep Spicy. We will raid them, and if you don't know the hack list, we are Legion. All right, so friends, I will be back tomorrow, same time. Until then, please be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking. Thanks for hanging out. I had a great time. Hope you did. See ya next time.